Every password you save, every secure website you visit, every encrypted message you send, all of them depend on random numbers. But a computer has a strange problem. It cannot simply decide to be random because computers, they follow instructions. Give it the same starting point and it does the same thing every time. That reliability is what makes computer useful, and that's exactly what makes randomness so hard. How does a machine to be perfectly predictable produce a random that nobody can guess? If you are watching ML Guy for the first time, in this channel we try to go deep underneath of every complex system to understand how they work. So if you like such content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to help the recommendation system. So let's back to the topic. Let me show you the problem. Run this program, for example, once and you get the 5 numbers. Run it again and you get the exact same 5 numbers in the exact same order. You can restart your computer, you can run it tomorrow, you can run it on a completely different machine. It's still the same 5 numbers. If they are random, as you can see from the function, why do they come out identical every time? The real answer is not as obvious as you expect. When a computer truly needs the unguessable, math alone cannot get it there. Eventually, the machine has to do something almost physical. It has to listen to the tiny messy noise inside its own hardware. But first, let's see what it's actually doing when it fakes a random number. The computer is not pulling numbers out of thin air. It is following a recipe. You hand it one starting number. The programmers, they call it seed, and the random number producer does the same math on that seed number to produce the next number, then uses that result to produce the next one, and so on and so forth. The math can be complicated enough that output looks completely chaotic, but still it's just a recipe. The same first ingredient always produces the same dish. That's why exactly the demo repeated. We handled it the same starting ingredients, so it cooked the same exact sequence. You might think that's a flaw. Often it's the whole point. If you are training an AI model and something goes wrong, being able to feed in the same starting ingredients and replay the exact same run is how you hunt down the bug. Game worlds work the same way. Single starting number can regenerate the same landscape, the same cave in, for example, Minecraft, the same villages every time when the world loads. The trouble starts when we mix up two things that feel identical but aren't, looking random and being unpredictable. Take a sequence like this. To you and me, honestly, that looks random. The numbers jump around, there's no obvious pattern, and you would struggle to guess what comes next. But now imagine someone who knows the recipe and knows the starting ingredients or starting seed. For them, there's no mystery at all. They can work out every number that comes next exactly. That's a trap. Something can look random, pass every check when you want to check if it's evenly mixed, and still be completely predictable to anyone who knows how it was made. For a game or a simulation, that's fine. And sometimes that's a feature that you want or you expect from it. For security, it's catastrophic. And it's not hypothetical. Predictable randomness has let attackers guess the tokens that keep you locked in. They can forge password reset links to take over accounts. So secure systems need a tougher kind of generator. One built so that even if you watch its output all day, you still cannot predict what's coming next. But it still needs that first starting ingredients or first starting seed. And if you can guess the ingredients, you can replace the whole dish. So where does an unguessable starting ingredient come from? A tempting answer is to use the current time. After all, the clock is always changing. But changing is not the same as unpredictable. Suppose a server creates a secret token at around 10:35. An attacker doesn't need the exact instant. They just try a few thousand possible moments in that window, feed each one in as a starting ingredient, and see which one reproduces the token that they want to hack. A flawless recipe or seed with a guessable start is still guessable. So the computer needs a starting ingredient that didn't come from its own predictable math. It has to get genuine unpredictability from somewhere. And that somewhere needs to be outside of itself, from the physical world. This is the interesting part. Inside your computer, the electronics are never perfectly clean. Those tiny noises, they come from the messy physics of the real world. It can be produced by heat, by electrical flickers, the imperfect behavior of the real circuits. And they are unpredictable in a way no software could ever be. The computer can measure them and turn them into bits. A bit that lands early becomes a 0, for example. One that lands late becomes a 1. For the first time in this whole story, the unpredictability is not coming from the clever math, it's coming from physics. Engineers have a name for this kind of real-world unpredictability: entropy. The more entropy a source has, the harder its output is to predict. The raw noise is messy, so computer cleans it up first. But that's a real secret. When your computer needs true randomness, it's literally listening to the electrical noise inside its own hardware. There is one last piece, and it explains why computers do not just use physical noise for everything. That may be also your question, why we don't use physical noise for everything. Measuring that noise is slow. You really don't want your computer pausing to listen to electrical flickers every single time a program asks for a random number. So it does something clever, just to make our life easier. It collects just a little real noise from the physical world, only enough for one genuinely unguessable starting ingredient, and feeds that into a fast generator that stretches into millions of random numbers. Physics provides that one thing math can't: real unpredictability. Math provides, however, the one thing that physics can: speed. And the best part is that you never have to think about any of this. Your operating system gathers the physical noise and cleans it up and runs the fast generator for you. You just ask it for secure randomness. So as you can see in the screen, you can generate tokens or secure tokens like this. So can a computer make a truly random number? If you're only talking about software, no. Give it the same recipe and the same starting ingredient and it will hand you the same answer until the end of the time. But a computer is not only software, it's physical machine, and it can listen to unpredictable noise cracking through its own circuits. Most of the random numbers it gives you are coming from fast math, but the unpredictability underneath all of it has to begin somewhere else, and that first spark comes from physics. Until the next video, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Bye.